There aren't a lot of people who talk about how to automate your personal finances to include things like digital assets, like crypto. Today, we're gonna talk about just how to do that. If you haven't automated your finances yet, I recommend checking out the previous video, check it up here. And if you're new to this whole video series on DFIRE, there's a link to the playlist in the description below, so check that out. But today it's time to level up. We're stepping into the realm of Auto DFIRE. It's FIRE's tech-savvy cousin that stands for Digital Financial Independence, Retire Early. In this epic financial journey, we're going to upgrade your financial system, talk about potential upgrades and options, and I'll pull back the curtain on my own personal automated financial system, Auto DFIRE system, with all its bells and whistles. So buckle up, folks. We're about to blaze through a path to advanced financial automation. Let's effing go. Forgot to record this disclaimer earlier. I am not a financial advisor. Everything that I'm talking about today is just my own opinion and my own experiences. Please do your own research and contact your own personal financial advisor. And a lot of the things I'm talking about, different investments, cryptos and NFTs, they are highly risky and you have the potential of losing your money. Now, before we get starry-eyed at the thought of these untold riches, we have to be real about this. There are real dragons out there beyond our make-believe digital Taria financial fantasy world. The bigger that your system gets, the more variables that you're going to have to deal with. The more to manage, the more to keep track of, and the more chances to get messy and lose money. But part of this is the fun of being able to explore. It's the thrill of the hunt, the opportunity, solving mysteries. It's the satisfaction of having a well-balanced portfolio and being ahead of the curve and being able to try to take advantage of those opportunities before the opportunities aren't there anymore. There's nothing quite like it, and it's something that I've been doing for the last 6 years. I've been there, so I know what it's like to get started. So what you want to do is just start with a simple system and start working on trial and error and getting used to your simple system, and then experimenting with how much complexity that you want in there. It's a personalized system for you, and as long as it works, that's what matters most. And you don't have to add in all of this complexity, because optimizing it does give you opportunities, but it also has some potential risk. So just remember that there's a risk to making your system more complicated. There are going to be a few manual parts to this, because crypto and other emerging digital assets, it's a newer technology industry that's still maturing. But again, we can still automate this to a point where it can be all automatic. It just gets to a certain point where if you want to go beyond that, you unfortunately have to put in more manual effort. So we're going to take a quick look at the common ways to add to your financial automation options, each with its own set of advantages. I'm going to zip through these options, so don't worry, we're going to dive deeper into them in future videos. Before we dive in, let's start with the basics. Setting up a commission-free investment account, and this is your gateway into the world of investing. This is how you touch the deep end with your toe, and then you jump in eventually. With apps like Robinhood, Webull, TD Ameritrade, you can start investing in the stock market and crypto without paying a dime inside commissions. Setting up this is as simple as downloading the app, filling out your details, linking your bank account, and once you're all set up, you can start investing and building that portfolio. Same thing with automation, just linking it and then going and setting up a recurring buy is very, very easy, especially inside these apps and these platforms. One of the other things that people tend to add to their system is another tax advantaged account beyond their 401k. We talked about the 401k earlier, but now people try to add in a Roth IRA. This is a retirement savings account that offers tax-free growth and tax-free withdrawals in retirement that's available for withdrawal at the age of 55 and a half. You can supercharge your investment account or your Roth IRA by investing in index funds. This is a type of mutual fund or exchange traded fund ETF with a portfolio that matches or tracks a market index, or think of it like a market basket that represents everything within that industry or everything within what type of category that they're setting. And traditionally, the tried and true route that's widely recommended by the FIRE community is investing in index funds and ETFs. These are like the bread and butter of the the FIRE diet. And you can easily invest in these through a Roth IRA, which gives them some tax advantages. This also gives you a diversified portfolio with low cost and historically reliable returns, and it reduces risk. Instead of investing and putting all your eggs in one basket, if that company stock goes out of business, that crypto, then you don't have to worry about it because the index automatically adjusts, and it's a representation of more than 100, even a lot more than that, companies within inside that index. Next option we have is an employee stock purchase plan, or ESPP. This is a fantastic perk that some companies offer where you can buy the company stock at a discount, and it's like getting an instant return on your investment, potentially. This is great if your company has shown long-term growth and can expand and is continuing to grow into the future and has that track record. Now, let's get talking to the exciting world of digital assets. Bitcoin, Ethereum are the major players here, the titans of crypto, but there's also a plethora of alternative coins, altcoins as they're known, each with their unique propositions, the unique industries, and narratives that they will play into. On the wilder side, we have meme coins. They're highly speculative, come with their fair share of risk, but if you trade them right, you can get returns, and sometimes outsized returns if you play your cards right and you time them right. But it's also easy to lose money, where people are throwing their money into this, trying to get in and get out, kind of like Vegas, where you're trying to make money and gamble and then try to get out. And then we have NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, a different type of digital asset. You want to think of this digital asset as an alt investment, similar to how we have artwork in traditional finance, but not all NFTs are created equal. Some are the equivalent of having high-end digital art, while others are kind of like highly risky pump and dump penny stocks. You have to do more research. It's very volatile, and you need a keen eye on the market trends, the news, the narratives. So again, just like any of crypto, tread here carefully. It's not a game for the faint of heart, but the rewards can be substantial if you're willing to put the time and the effort and join the right communities. That is essential. To venture into digital assets in that landscape, here's what you need to add into the system. So at a minimum, you're gonna need to have a place where you buy and sell crypto. No matter what platform you use to buy crypto, that it needs to have the ability to transfer your crypto off. While it's inconvenient to manage a hardware wallet, it protects against the scenarios where crypto businesses potentially go bankrupt, like we've seen with Voyager, Celsius, and FTX. So keep that in mind if you plan to go into crypto. Get into self-storage, buy yourself a Trezor or a Ledger, transfer it off of the exchanges, especially if you're just holding for long term, and then learn how to take control of your finances so you don't have to worry about that risk. Link in the description below. If you need a Trezor or Ledger, I highly recommend having a hardware wallet. It will protect you against a lot of different risks. So if we're diving deeper into digital assets, if you're gonna get into trading NFTs, you're going to need a hot wallet like MetaMask. This is a browser wallet that is on blockchain. This is gonna be for ETH-based NFTs, so adjust for the blockchain as needed, but you can access it through Chrome. You can access it through a web browser. You just install it, and then now you have access to your funds. It's like having a little pop-up window for your bank account, but it's on blockchain and has all your crypto, and then you can connect to the different websites that you need to in order to trade, buy, and sell NFTs. And part of those activities are connecting to a NFT marketplace like OpenSea. So don't worry if this sounds a little bit like gibberish. I'm gonna have a full in-depth video coming out on NFTs specifically, but also crypto. But this is gonna be a brain dump of everything that I've learned over the past few years. So you're probably asking yourself, how much should I allocate to each? This is going to depend. It's highly personal and depends on a variety of factors, such as your risk tolerance. Basically, your risk tolerance is how much money could I potentially lose and still sleep well at night. That's like a simple way of thinking about it. And then also, like, how much am I willing to risk for this much gain, like realistic this much gain, and not just this I'm going to make millions and not have like a solid strategy behind it. That is your risk tolerance. When you're down and you lost that money that you worked hard to earn, but you are risking it to earn this potential money, realistic, practical strategy for achieving that goal. That is the risk to reward, and that's your risk tolerance. The other things you need to consider is your belief in the future of those assets. Have you looked at the different types of research? Do you believe this is something that's going to remain for the future? That is things that you need to do research on your own and start establishing for yourself so you can create your own investment thesis and not be reliant on other people. It also depends on what strategy you're using. Long-term strategy, short-term, medium-term, short-term day trading by the hour, by the minute. It all depends on that. Also, your risk management, how you're managing your risk, and the amount of disposable income that you have. For now, just a rule of thumb is just to invest what you're willing to lose. So when it comes to crypto and NFTs, the volatility is intense. You have to be mentally prepared for your portfolio value to swing wildly. Bitcoin, as volatile as it is, has been the best performing asset over the last decade, but can you stomach your investment losing value potentially up to 50 to 90%? So if you're new, I recommend getting extremely familiar with each platform and asset class before introducing that complexity. Because the more complex the system gets, the more that it means you have to be comfortable with juggling different types of investments and also the emotions that come with that. When in doubt, keep it simple. For most people, the simpler automated auto DFIRE system would be contribute enough to get your 401k employer match, open up a commission-free investment account and invest in low-cost index funds or ETFs. Also, have an investment account. It could be the same one or a separate one that has the ability to make automated, consistent investments in crypto. Where a common long-term strategy for beginners is just to choose Bitcoin or Ethereum or a mix of the two and just set aside a small percentage of your income to consistently buy every paycheck. And depending on your company, people can choose to participate in the ESPP or the company stock purchase plan because it typically gives a discount on the company stock, which is great for companies that have been around for a while and are showing consistent growth. Let's dive into my system and I'll talk about all the different nuances and my thought process behind how I set that up. So let's dive into that now.
Here it is at a high level. It starts with my salary at 100%. To make this simple, I'm not going to factor in taxes, but just take out taxes just to make the math simpler. So 100% of my salary, 6% is going into my 401k to get 100% of my employer match. I used to have this around 20% at times because I wanted to maximize as much money as I could. This is when my system was a little bit more simple, but I've decided to go away from that, preparing to have more money for early retirement. And I've also done my calculations. I'm on track to hit over $1 million, seeing it grow from compounded growth. So I thought I'd take a risk by investing that in other places so that we could have that earlier before 55 and a half, before 59 and a half inside these retirement tax advantage accounts. So from there, it goes 10% goes into the company stock because we have a great company within the Fortune 10, constantly growing, great company to work for. I believe in the company, so I've maxed this out. It's been doing extremely well for me. It's been netting a 35% overall return since I've been just investing in it. Now, going back to the salary, all the money that's not going into my 401k or my company stock goes into my checking account automatically. And then from here, 18% is getting transferred automatically to rent as an automatic payment through Zelle. So that was something that we converted at, but previously it was an automated system that would just cut a check and it would just send it automatically. And then we just automated that to Zelle instead. From there, about 16% goes to my credit card. This is a Travels credit card. This is what we use and charge most of our items on so that we can get cash back or travel rewards. And 12% of this is now my needs expense. So this is food, this is gas, this is groceries. 4%, I've gotten my guilt-free, at least for this section of guilt-free, on like a monthly basis to 4%, which is pretty amazing compared to what I used to spend. And then 16% is expenses that are charged on my credit card. Going back from my checking account, the remaining amount goes into my savings for different savings buckets. So I talked about previously of having the ability to bucket all your different savings goals inside the same account. So for alt investments in cash, I'm holding 13%. That automatically goes every month. 11%, this is what I count as guilt-free. So this is travel experiences. And when it's experiences, this is things with family, this is things with friends, spending for their birthdays. That's what I consider experiences. That's what we consider experiences. So we're saving that up to go travel the world, but also have time to take friends out, go explore, go try new things. Next from here is business and trading expenses at 9%. So these are any new ventures that I want to learn, any new business that I want to experiment in. And then so any extra money I use for trading. So this is for crypto trading, stock trading, anything NFT trading. And I take that extra money and then I just start to trade with it. If not, I'm learning different things on how to grow a side hustle and business. So that's what I use these funds for. Throughout the year, there's going to be things that are variable, things like a car breaking down. One of the things that I do is I look at my annual expenses and then I look at all the variable expenses that I wasn't expecting. And then I make a rough estimate of what I can expect for the next year. And then I save that inside my paycheck and put it as a savings goals. Think of it as a rainy day fund that funds any unexpected annual expenses. This has been a great way for me to prepare for all those expenses and has been working for me throughout the years. And then the last amount, 1% goes into an emergency fund. This is also because I've saved enough for 3 months living expenses, and I'm not going to be saving 6 months because I have liquid assets that in worst case scenario, I could sell off crypto. I could sell off company stock. I could sell off cash reserves that I'm using for alternative accounts. That's also the reason why I don't have the other 3 months of living expenses, because I have that as a buffer where I don't want to touch that in worst case scenario, but if I have to, I will. And within my savings account, I have a specific savings bucket that goes for crypto where it's deducted automatically from into the various exchanges that I use. So this represents a pretty hefty portion of my automated system. It's 28%. And this is 28% of the funds that are going from my checking account into my savings account. And I'm just doing recurring buys currently. And even though my portfolio is a little bit more complicated than this, and this is not the representation, this is just what I'm accumulating right now because we're in a bear market. I just made it simple. Large cap, this is anything over 10 billion. Mid cap is 1 to 10 billion, and small cap is anything below 1 billion, at least according to the training from Coinbase. So I'm not going to go in full depth of why I chose these or the strategy behind it because I have a full video. It was my bear market strategy of what I was accumulating during this bear market. So I'm going to put a link above right now. Click that right now if you want to check that out. But basically, I just wanted to simplify my strategy, have a blue chip crypto that I could just be reliant on. Ape was a play into the NFT space, and then Gala was just to have some exposure to something small cap, would have a potential higher return, but be okay with losing that money if I made the wrong call. And it was exposure into the gaming market. And then from there, these are highlighted blue because these are manual. There isn't an automated way to get it off of the different exchanges, so you just have to manually input it every month or however often you're doing it. And then from here, I put it into a hot wallet. This is a trading wallet. This is where I mint my NFTs. This is where I do various financial activities in DeFi, when I'm doing a lot of different things where I'm connecting to a bunch of websites, and it's potentially a little sketchy. I'm only putting enough to do these different activities. And then anything that is valuable and that I'm holding long-term, or even if I'm not holding long-term, I just don't want to have any risk for it within my hot wallet, my trading account. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it into a hardware wallet, also known as cold wallet. Highly recommend it, especially if you're going to be diving into the vast wild west of all the financial opportunities within crypto and what you can do inside this space. And get a Ledger, get a Trezor, or any other reputable hardware wallet. Now let's go over the high level breakdown. So 53% is going into savings and investments, 28% is going into needs, and then about 19% is going into wants. I'd love to hear your thoughts or what different things you've been investing in. And if you have any questions, I'll answer any questions that you have below. And as always, take care, talk soon, and I'll see you in the next video.